Viewers and subscribers, and welcome back. This is still BVI Channel 1, where we tell you undiluted truth. Wole Soyinka is on the news for calling millions of Nigerians using social media bunch of barbarians. It came after he made a speech and a comment in one of the interviews where he was, hitting back and forth. That and Peter Obi.
Back to those old days. So for me, it was no longer a contest between individuals. It was not a contest between a so-called interim political party and democracy. And when you have a binary like that, I have no doubt, no hesitation at all about what side of the barricades my position should be. And that interview by Dati, that disgraceful, menacing interview, was for me the ultimate signal. Because this was somebody, calling for a rubbishing of a structure by which he himself had profited to ever become a governor. I'm talking about Peter Obi, who was what is known as a judgment governor. And even before he'd attended the tribunal and sat, his party, his spokesman, in this case Dati, came on television to threaten everyone, to threaten her if his interpretation of the results was not upheld. I mean, this for me was immoral, politically immoral, socially immoral. It was playing to a certain script.
Now let me tell you guys, Soyinka, or whatever they call him, Wole Soyinka, have demonstrated that he have no respect for himself and his old age. And Nigerians must look for this young man whom we all battered, call all manner of names, because he refused to give up his seat for Wole Soyinka. We need to apologize to that guy, because truly he saw what some people couldn't see. Only God knows what the man did or said that made him not to give him that seat. Now Nigerians are realizing the content of the character of the man that was once declared wanted. The man whom many believe he is behind all manner of violent cultism across Nigerian universities. That is what many believed. If it is true, only him can tell. But here on this one, where Inkari himself bring this violence on Nigerian people in this January, they are giving him woto. Ruben Amati, the man that always want to sit on the fence and be romantic with the truth without speaking it the way it is, had come out to say this.
Well, barbarians originally referred to those people who were not part of the Greek or Romanic civilization. But in contemporary usage, when a person is called a barbarian, it means that the person is uncivilized, inferior, violent. And what Professor Soyinka is saying again is that you'll find a lot of uncultured persons, uncivilized persons, indecent conduct in the use of the social media. I recall the conversation you had with him when you interviewed him. He wasn't calling, and this time again, he's not calling for a ban of the social media. Right. He has not said that the social media is negative. It's important to put that in context so that it's not misunderstood. But he's saying that a certain tribe has taken over social media of uncultured, unintelligent, uneducated people who use something that could be a positive force for negative purposes. That is his argument. And he believes, this time around, saying that the problem is that the level of most of the people on social media, their intelligence quotient is abysmally low.
But as usual, thank God for man like Rufai to put it straight.
Moving on, as regards what Professor Wole Soyinka said, I disagree with most of the things he said. Number one, anywhere in the world, there is no clear on intellectual base in social media. Social media was set up by people to be an alternative source of media, and what becomes the editorial benchmark of social media is algorithm. And let's get that clear, because we get too emotional about things like that. I do not subscribe to people that say all sorts of things that are wrong against other people or defame people on social media. But the truth has to be said. The reason why people put social media there, the founders, is to be able to hear the voice of those you will normally not hear in society. So it's not an intellectual base. If Professor Wole Soyinka is saying it's an intellectual conversation on social media is largely for wawulers and all sorts of, you can call it on culture, thought and process, but it's also a thought process. So this idea of elitism on social media does not cut it. It is mostly a renegade form of media. And I'm sure Professor Wole Soyinka remembers strongly during the struggle against Sani Abacha. There was a Kudirat radio too that said a lot of things that the government too will say is derogatory for them. But that was the quest and that was the championing of the cause they needed to do then, after the June 12 elections. Right. So let's not forget that.
Good. Now, to Soyinka, or whatever they call him, the Nigerian people want to let you know that you guys of the old era that have planted all manner of backwardness for Nigeria, that enjoyed the good things of Nigeria, that benefited from the best healthcare, the best economy at the time, the best education at the time, taking Nigeria backward to the worst state anyone can think of, is calling us barbarians. You that always go out quickly to condemn Jonathan's government policies and program have found nothing to talk about since APC took over. Especially since you are a man, you are one and only man, impose himself on Nigerians through a clear-cut corruption and impunity.
I mean, what more essential thing do you require if you're moving into an unfurnished building? You need to cook. His wife, Remi, sitting there, had thought about these details and sent pots and pans and fridge or whatever to the house to enable myself and my family to survive until my house was repaired in open state.
We must all suffer for you to show your dishonest loyalty.
Yeah. And there are a few other things, but I won't tell them here.
Now, when you're talking about someone benefiting from, like when you are batting on that your or backing on that your interview, let me address it head on. Even the judiciary, the men of the bench, the judges acknowledge that the bunch of people you have today as judges are nothing to write home about.
The process of appointment of judges and the quality of judgments of courts. A couple of years ago, appointment to the bench was strictly on merit. Strictly on merit. Sound knowledge of the law, integrity, honor, and hard work distinguished those who were elevated. Lobbying was unheard of. Lobbying to accost justices into their chambers by people who seek to be elevated, that the judges should put in words for them, were unheard of. You will just be sitting, and if those who are given the responsibility of making the elevation find you worthy, you just get a letter to that effect. You wouldn't have gone to anybody to ask for any favors or recognition. But that is not the case today.
They are a bunch of the worst of the system. They have not taken position because the system have thrown them up as being piloted by APC today to occupy the seat so that they can consolidate in their wickedness and regardless of the law. Their impunity is factory fitted. They have no regards for law. Unlike when we have judges who deliver judgment based on justice, not the one that is delivering judgment today based on technicality of corruption. I want to point it clear to you that Nigerians did not vote massively for Tinubu. It is clear. And they turned every system upside down against the people and the constitution of this country. They interpreted it in their own way. And you, the laureates, the writer, the English speaker could not say a word, and you allowed young people to correct you, and you think that we are fools, and you're calling us barbarians. Barbarians are the people that stole. The people that stole the wealth of this country are not on the social media. The Abashas that looted this country dry, they are not on the social media. The politicians that took all the wealth and stored it in foreign banks, they are not on social media. They are the real barbarians. Unlike the young people who are trying to make a life out of content creation, adding value to the system and taking back something from it, you're calling barbarians. Well, posterity will judge you, and you will reap the fruit of your labor while you are alive. We are all going to witness it, because one day Nigeria must happen to every one of you. And that is my take. I'm the Archbishop, Good Governance Ministry, and I don't care in telling people like you the blunt truth. And I hope they will share it so that other Nigerians will see truly the kind of people they respect as their elders. What's your take on this, my people? Drop it on the comment section and share this video widely. Bye-bye for now.